Part 1. Grief is not a problem to solve. We treat it like one, like something that needs to be processed, moved through, gotten over, as if the goal is to arrive on the other side, grief-free, light again, ready to laugh without remembering. But Keanu Reeves said something truer. Grief changes shape, but it never ends. He wasn't being morbid, he was being honest. Grief doesn't end because love doesn't end. What ended was the form, the presence, the person, the version of life you thought you'd have. But the love, that stays. And if love stays, grief stays too, because grief is just love with nowhere to go until it finds somewhere. Part 2. What grief actually does. Grief gets a bad reputation. We call it heavy, we call it dark. We try to move past it, medicate it, distract it, outrun it. But here's what grief actually does, if you let it. It softens you. Not weakens, softens. The hard edges you built to survive, grief wears them down. It quiets you. Not silences, quiets. The noise of ambition, performance, proving yourself. Grief makes it irrelevant. It focuses you, not on productivity, on what matters. You stop wasting time on people and situations that don't deserve you. Grief is not a malfunction, it's a recalibration. It strips away what isn't essential until all that's left is what's real. And when all that's left is what's real, you become real. Part 3. The pivot. From grief to service. Here's the question most people never ask. If grief doesn't end, what do we do with it? Because Keanu is right, it changes shape, but it doesn't disappear. So if it's going to stay, how do we stop it from becoming a life sentence? The answer is surprising. You serve from it, not despite your grief, from it. Think about the people who've helped you most in your life, the ones whose presence actually mattered, the ones who didn't just offer advice but offered witness. Were they people who'd never suffered? Or were they people who'd been through something and came out the other side with something real to offer? Grief metabolized becomes depth. Depth offered to others becomes service. You don't serve from your strengths, you serve from your scars. Part 4. Douglas Adams on real service. Douglas Adams wrote something I've never been able to forget. To give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. I'll read that again. To give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. Real service isn't transactional. It's not a CV line. It's not customer service. It's not doing things for people so they owe you. Real service is adding something that can't be bought. And what can't be bought? Sincerity, integrity, presence. The quiet ability to be with someone in their pain without trying to fix it. Where do those come from? They come from having been with your own pain, from not running, from letting grief do its work. You can't fake sincerity. You can't perform integrity. You can only embody them, and embodiment takes time, takes grief, takes not looking away. Part 5. Reframe, invitation and pattern interrupt. So we've talked about grief deepening you, about service rising from scars, about value that can't be priced. And all of that is true, but here's the question no one asks when they're in the middle of it. What if you're taking the whole grief thing a bit too seriously? Not the loss is real, but the story you're telling about it. The one where you're the designated mourner, the keeper of the flame, the one who must never laugh too loud because it might mean you've forgotten. George Carlin once said, Frisbeetarianism is the belief that when you die your soul goes up on the roof and gets stuck. It's absurd, it's irreverent, and it lands because underneath the joke is a truth. We don't know what happens. We never did. And maybe, just maybe, the people who've gone wouldn't want you to spend the rest of your life with a straight face. Bill Hicks put it another way. It's just a ride. The good news? You get to decide how seriously you take the ride. Grief is not a life sentence, it's a season. And seasons change. Not because you stop loving, because love, when it's real, doesn't demand you stay frozen. It wants you alive. So here's your invitation this week. Get bored. Bored of the heaviness. Bored of the same sad song on repeat. Bored of grief as identity rather than grief as visitor. What if, just for today, you forgot to be sad? What if you laughed at something stupid? What if you let someone make you smile and didn't feel guilty after? That's not betrayal, that's circulation. Diligence, remember, isn't grim determination. Diligence is showing up to joy, to laughter, to life, even when grief is still in the room. You don't have to kick it out, just don't let it be the only guest. And if you catch yourself thinking, but I should still be sad, consider asking, how interesting that I believe sadness is a measure of love. What if love, fully expressed, includes everything, including the freedom to feel good again? Part 6. Hypnotic Close. If it's safe to do so, close your eyes and make yourself comfortable. And as you sit here now, you may notice that grief is not something you need to get rid of. It's something you carry. But carrying can be gentle, not a weight, but a depth. Like roots that hold you steady while the wind moves above. And from that steadiness, something new becomes possible. Not forgetting, not moving on, just being here with yourself, with what matters. With the quiet knowing that you are not broken, you are deepened. And from that depth, service arises naturally. Not because you try, because you are. Breath moving gently, chest rising, settling. Warmth returning quietly, because it was never gone, just waiting for you to arrive.